When I was a Sooner, let's just say we partied.
What is going on, Sooner Nation? Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is an absolute legend. He was a starter on the 2000 national championship team, but don't worry, he's not just a football meathead. This man took his talents off the gridiron and has done it all, from taking over high school head coaching positions, starting his own successful marketing business, and most recently, D-Mac, starting up that successful podcast, The Barry and Mack Show. Is there anything the man can't do? We're about to find out. D-Mac, what's going on, my guy?
Man, how about that? You did your research. Salute to you, man. How'd you know
We
I
got
wasn't?
to, man.
I was an educator 11 years. I actually own an insurance company, not a media company. So yeah, I own an insurance company. I'm having a blast doing this podcast and stuff, man. And so obviously, when you guys reached out, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. I want to do anything I can to help us sooner, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Colin and I have been like listening to podcasts like nonstop. And when you guys started your podcast and just keeping it like absolutely 100, like no sugar coating, no sunshine pumping, bro, I was like, all those other podcasts are non-existent to me anymore. As long as I got some Barry and Mac show in my life, we're in good standing. So how's that been going?
You know what, man? It's been interesting. We've been live for I think going on 4 months now. I think October's our fourth month. About 18 episodes. It's interesting how the business works. So we just kind of did it one day. My buddy Barry was like, "Bro, let's start a podcast." I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And he's a technical guy. I don't know if you guys know Barry, but he's a sharp guy out of Tulsa. He knows the stuff. He's all about strength and conditioning. He's connected in that world. And so obviously him bringing that expertise and then coupling that with me being a player, being an ex-coach. Um, I'm a football nerd. I really am. I pay attention to things most people gloss over. It just made for a cool little show for us. And now it's a business. It's full-fledged. We've got a licensing deal. We have folks reach out. They want to partner with us on a website. So a lot of stuff cooking, man, and just working, just grinding, man. I'm a grinder. I don't mind the work. Let's just get some work done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, man, we're excited to have you on. We definitely try to do some research and are going to try and bring you some questions to try and make your day a little bit. So let's start it off with a banger. True or false? The song Return of the Mac is actually about you coming back from your torn ACL your senior year of high school.
Time out. Time. Whoa. Hold up. Yo, y'all really went deep into the man. Definitely not. That was a song that I did enjoy and love. It was my motivation. All right. When I was going through rehab, a lot of people didn't believe I played ball after that. I tore my ACL my senior year in a championship game, and I was committed to Stanford. I wonder if you guys knew that. Did you guys know I was committed to Stanford?
We did.
Okay. So I was committed to Stanford and lost my scholarship essentially. They wanted me to go to a prep school. I said, man, I got a 4.0 GPA. Ain't no way I'm going to no damn prep school. The crazy part, you want to hear what's crazy? Do you guys know the other school I was considering?
Uh-uh.
Take a guess. What's the school we hate? Okay, we hate Texas. By the way, I bought this burnt orange OU hat. I noticed it. But it's a burnt orange OU, and it's got the schooner on the back, and the underside is crimson and cream. But what school do we hate as much as we hate Texas now? We just started hating them.
Well, you weren't considering USC, were you?
Oh, I was this close.
Ah,
I was this close to going to SC, man. This close.
hey Mac, how good was it to see Tebow blaming the game on refs
It was
on
better
that
to
Saturday?
see Caleb cry.
Right?
And I like Caleb. I'm a Caleb fan. I think
Yeah, he's a baller.
Yeah. But I guess we'll call him Tebow. I don't have much love for that guy. He's a loser.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, you've been a part of a lot of big time OU games and victories, right? What's one of those ones that stands out whenever you think back on your time in the Crimson and Cream?
The funnest one was probably K-State in Manhattan. By the way, they are the most physical opponent we ever played against. We played against, Florida State that year. We played Nebraska when they were number one in America. Obviously, Texas is soft, so they're not even in the conversation. K-State, that's a grown man game. If you didn't come to Manhattan ready to play, and by the way, they still play that way today, right? They pretty much manhandled us in Norman. I was actually at that game. But man, the K-State game is when we really started to believe that we were the best team in America, right? We came into the season unranked. We started out 4-0. We barely beat Kansas, first Big 12 opponent going into the conference schedule. We played Texas the next week, beat the brakes off of them. We play K-State. We're still kind of like, how good are we? And there's some things we had tweaked in the offense and some of our preparation to prepare ourselves for that stretch. What do they call it? Red October.
Mm-hmm.
But K-State had dudes. By the way, that K-State team probably has 10 guys in the NFL. I can name 10 guys on that team who play and are significant players in the NFL. I mean, they have Jared Cooper, they have John McGraw, they have Fada Fahey, they have Lockett. They have what's the kid that's a cornerback that played for the Cowboys?
Newman.
Terrence Newman. They have Quincy Morgan. I mean, they had dudes.
Some
right?
dogs.
Yeah, they had a cemented. That was a team that was the 96 team. They lost to A&M in the Big 12 championship. So that team, man, they played well. They played hard. They were well coached. It was on their field. That was a fun game. That was a fun game. Of course, we beat that ass. We had to let them know that, can't beat us. Receipts say we won. By the way, did the receipt say we won? The receipt said we won. And then we played them in Kansas City again and beat that ass again. In the freezing cold on our way to Miami to play Florida State. So that was a fun game. That was a fun game.
Well, that's actually a perfect transition into this next question, okay? So that 2000 season obviously was the last time the Sooner Nation brought it home, which is extremely too long. I mean, I was 9 years old, and my boy Colin here wasn't even born yet.
I was -1, Mac.
Yeah, he was -1. So, I mean, it's been way too long. So which moment of your life were you most nervous about? Playing in the Natty in 2000 or taking over the head coaching job from a man that had been there since the school had opened?
Salute to you guys. Natty for sure. That stuff you dream about as a kid, right? Even when you sign up to play D1 football, you sign your letter of intent, you don't imagine. I mean, maybe some people do, but it wasn't a part of I thought I was going to the league, right? I wanted to play on ESPN. Like, those were all things that I wanted to do. To have the opportunity to play at a game of that magnitude, it was special, man. It's special. It's crazy. You asked me to bring my ring, didn't you? I got
it's
it.
all right. It's
upstairs. I can run and go get it real quick. I never wear it. I never wear that stuff. That's not important to me. What's more important is the relationships, the guys, the experiences, the memories.
For sure.
That game is one that, do you guys know the story about me and Roy? I mean, obviously,
a little bit, yeah.
You guys know the story, though. There's a story. You guys don't know
the childhood friends from James Logan High School.
Well, in our yearbook, by the way, it's literally in our yearbook, right? So we were both obviously very popular in school, and the yearbook guys were like, "Hey, you guys got scholarships? Can we interview you?" And we're like, "Yeah, no problem." So they do an interview. This is in 1997. All right, the date matters because they asked this question. They say, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I said, "Man, I see myself college football player, college graduate, having a significant impact in somebody's, program." You know what Roy says?
What's that?
I'm going to be a first-round draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys. It's in our yearbook. So my point is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you say matters. Like, what I said I wanted to do, I did. You know what I mean? Like, I played college football, significant, accomplishments, achievements. Roy was like very specific. Guys, 5 years later, he was a first-round draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, he's not a Dallas Cowboys fan. He was a Raider fan. He's not a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Manifested.
Right? Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. And then neither of us were going to go to Oklahoma initially. He was going to go to UW. I was going to go to Stanford. We were both going to stay in the Pac-10. And Of course, we both end up in Oklahoma.
Golly, that's crazy.
Well, we're both glad. We're glad you did end up in
Me
Oklahoma.
too.
So, hey, so Mac, with Venables coming in, this being his first year, I just want to know what it was like for you playing for a young Bob Stoops. Tate's got the program guy shirt on, and maybe if you see any similarities between their first seasons.
I see a lot. I mean, we never lost 3 games in a row,
Yeah.
but I see a lot. You know, Coach V is a very genuine guy. I actually got a chance to see him this summer. I went down and watched one of the scrimmages and had a great conversation with him and the new coaching staff. But they play the game the right way. You know, the fans don't love what we see currently on defense, especially, you know, we just have different players for a different scheme and they don't really fit into into the plan he has set up for OU. But it's very reminiscent of when Bob came in. My freshman year, guys, we had 30 guys transfer, quit, or just walk out. By the way, I would not be surprised. I don't think we'll have 30, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of transfers and things like that of that nature at this season. It's going to happen. But yeah, you know, Bob made it very clear when he came in, like, look, guys, I came here to win. You know, we're not here to baby you guys, to coddle you guys. We're going to create a culture set around winning, and those who want to win, you guys will make it, and those who don't want to win, it's all good. And I think Coach V, in today's society, it's a little different. You can't be, listen, it was kind of gangster back then. It was some days where if I told you guys some of the stuff we experienced, you probably wouldn't believe me. But in you know, in the society we're in now, where you've got cancel culture and social media, and you know, there's so much more available for people to snitch, tell, tattle, all that kind of stuff. You got to play it a little different. But Coach V for sure is here to win. And I think more so than just that, he has the unique ability to he's really gonna do. I firmly believe he's really gonna do what he says with this whole mission, which is essentially embody the whole student athlete, making sure they have life after, you know, sports, making sure they've got, you know, their resume skills on point, their people skills on point, their coping skills on point. All that's really necessary once you stop playing ball. And so I'm super proud of being a part of something where our program is going to be, you know, one of the first. Obviously, Clemson is the ones who they instituted at Clemson, but at OU, we're going to be continuing that on. And Coach V is definitely staying very close to Coach Bob. You know, you see Bob around all the time, so you know he's using that mentorship to his advantage.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Venables actually said something in that last presser that was a very much of, hey, if you don't want to be here, I'll show you the door. Like, I'm not going to hate on you. I'll get you to where you need to go. But like, yeah, if you ain't with us, you're against us. Like at this point, and we don't need those guys bringing us down. So even in today, where you're exactly right, there's like a cancel culture. You have to be very careful what you say and do. He still is Coach BV, and Colin and I brought that up in one of the episodes where, you know, you can tell that he's still filling out this head coaching, you know, from being a D coordinator to being the head guy, and like where he can push the throttle down and where he needs to let up. And you can kind of tell in this last couple of weeks that he's like, nah, like
yeah, you can see
like,
it
this is
coming out.
my program, and I'm going to do what I need to do.
He's got this vein. Oh, man, we used to call it the off-season vein, because in off-season he gets pissed off. That vein, you know, he pissed off.
Yeah, there's been some people that have been asking him some question, and they're seeing that off-season vein you speak of, for sure. Cool. Hey, well, I read an article from 2002, so we're 20 years ago. Okay, so I was talking about your adjustment you had to make going from being a football player, and to use your word, you said feeling like a civilian. Okay. Is it true that you had moments of avoiding teammates and the switch or center altogether? And how did you get through that moment or that momentous time in your life?
So, see, you bring it up. See, you bad, you terrible. I mean, 2001, I get hurt. My last game as a Sooner is OU Texas 2001, the Superman game. Roy makes the play to, you know, to essentially tie the game, or to tie the tide over, and we win. I have a concussion. I had a couple concussions prior to that game.
Happened in practice, right?
Well, the one was in practice, and anyway, I don't want to get into too much except to say it was actually, it's interesting that you bring it up. I got the concussion because Coach V believed in me, right? So we were having issues with punt protection. And generally, you have linebackers and defensive backs as the primary protectors on punt protection. But I was a tough SOB, just FYI. D-Mac was a tough guy. I don't mind going to go hit a linebacker. I'll go catch a pass and I'll go deplete a guy. Back in the day where you could actually, blindside people. You can't do that anymore. But so Coach V was like, I want Mackey on wing, not the outside guys that are gunners, actual wing with like the big guys, right? And so I did it.
Your nose in the play.
Sticking your nose with DNs and stuff. So generally what'll happen is a team will scheme quick guys. And so Air Force did that. And I blocked their asses. A guy my size, no problem. Well, we played, I don't know who we played. I don't know who we played next, but they put a DN on me. So I've got a 6'3", 260, 250-pound dude, and he's not trying to go around me, by the way. He's just trying to run through me. So I didn't get the concussion because of that, but I held my own. And Coach V's on film that next morning. God, look at D-Mac. He's got a DN. He's not getting, and then I'm just kind of like, I actually had a headache. Like, bro, that shit hurt. Keep it a buck with you. That didn't feel good, but it was kind of like, props. So the next week in practice, he tells the red shirts like, hey man, y'all block a punt. You guys can, you don't have to run. So I wasn't in, so he put in, I think it was Mike T. In fact, Mike Thompson was the other wing, because he was a corner. They got the punt blocked. Damn it. So the red shirts hella excited. They don't have to run out to practice. He put me back in. And then that practice, it's Jamar Mosey. Jamar Mosey, I think, was a red shirt or maybe just a second year in the program. And we just hit each other. If you see the hit on film, doesn't look like anything crazy. He runs into me. I thud him up. I run him, toss him, take 3 steps, and I just fall straight on the turf. Boom. And I woke up in the hospital. And so that's really how my my career ends. I'm paralyzed for a while, guys. My brainstem is swollen. My motor skills on the left side of my body don't work. Sunlight drives me crazy. I have constant headaches. Just a long-term process to get myself back to being a civilian, to being just a normal person, right, who could do some everyday activities. It was difficult. And so when that article that you're referencing was when I was starting, believe it took almost a year to be normal, to be a civilian, right? I felt like I was an outpatient or something for a very long time. And so just very fragile, man. Thinking about how quick you could go from being guys, I was probably on my way to the NFL. Right. I'm for sure going to get an opportunity to play. And then my own talents will let you know how long I play. But like, I'm going to go play ball on Sundays and then boom, I can't get out of bed for a week. Mm. Just crazy to think how fast life happens,
100%. So dealing with that situation of just like football being like your whole life and like, you, like you said, you saw yourself going and playing on Sundays. So that transition of like, what's next and stuff like that. And obviously after, I gave your intro, obviously you've done a hell of a job of finding what's next. And just, you can tell that being a part of that Sooner culture of just being a winner, just not only on the field, but in life, like has played a huge dividend in your life of how successful you've been off the field. Like, can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, I talk about it all the time, man. There's a term we all use called Schmitty built. We're all Schmitty built. And Jerry Schmidt came in and changed the culture of how we treated off season, how we treated our bodies, how we exercise. And it really resonated. There was a residual impact on everything in life. When I decided to be a teacher, I attacked that shit. You know what I'm saying? I attacked at the test. I looked at the data and they said, hey, these are test scores. These are the issues. These are the students that are having issues. I attacked it. Like I go to class. I'm like, look, you in my class, you're going to pass this mother sucker. You cut up. You're not getting a referral. I didn't get referrals out. You ain't getting no referral. I ain't calling your mama. You got to deal with me. Like, so if you want to cut up, it's going to be me and you in class. I just want to let you know I'm not going to give you a receipt to get out of here. And then I was like, we're going to have the best test scores. Like, look. And I was like, we're going to have hella fun. You're going to be in my class. We're going to have a blast. And the kids, they bought it. And then I became a principal, 29 years old. I was a principal. Wow. And just was, they really, young Black athlete. People thought that I was kind of given the position because I went back home. And so I accelerated through a district where I was a student So I had to just be like, nah, you got me messed up. Like, I don't take handouts. This ain't no hookup. I know how to do my job. Right.
Right.
And so I attacked it, man. I attacked it. Like, okay, what's the metrics that we need to look for, and how do I need to make sure I'm the best principal out? And that was what I really wanted to do. And then I was like, I think I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to control my income. I want to make what I want to make on my own terms. And so for the last 5 years, I've been running my own businesses and operating on my own terms, and the same thing. Attack that shit.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, that's super cool. Well, and you bring up Schmitty Bill, and a lot of Sooner fans think about that just being like muscle and strength and speed, and like, yeah, it's those things. But like being a former athlete and like all-state athlete, like, man, it's a mentality, like a mental toughness that like when you go through that stuff, and especially with like other teammates and stuff like that, like the mental toughness that you gain from being Schmitty built is like what propels you like through life and stuff like that. And I'm actually a freshman biology teacher right now. And
Oh,
so
my man. Salute.
yeah.
You're an educator. Love.
So I'm in the grind of like looking at test scores and coming in and saying like, look, those test scores are like, I didn't have anything to do with that. Like we're gonna crush it. And so
Exactly.
man, I resonate with what you just said for sure.
I got a couple questions for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Are you guys cool with that? Y'all okay with that?
For
Yeah,
sure.
go for it.
I pod too, you know what I'm saying? I'm a podcaster as well, so we're gonna all enjoy these. I want to know from Colin, man, what was it? What was your number one reason behind wanting to get behind the mic and let your voice be heard on these different platforms?
Okay, so it's kind of an interesting story. So my first 2 years of college, I was business communications because I wanted to get into broadcasting and things of that nature, like sports broadcasting or kind of like have my own show, you know. And so my first 2 years, I'm knocking out all my classes, and I'm registering for classes last spring actually. And one of the accounting professors comes in, and he starts asking me like what I want to do, all this, and I'm like, well, I want to get into like sports broadcasting. And he was like, well, he goes, if you had never told me that, I honestly couldn't see that happening. And he's like, I would have never expected you to do that. And so he was asking me my plans. I was like, I'm going to work on my master's, keep playing baseball, and then hopefully get into broadcasting. And he was like, well, that's pretty competitive, and I don't know if you've got like the voice for it or the connections or whatnot. And so I got a little influenced and changed my major to finance because he look, he was being kind of a jerk about it a little bit, but he did bring up some good points. But then me and Tate got to talking, and we're always talking or whatever. And he's like, man, what if we started our own podcast? And so like this is something I'm passionate about and I love doing. And I think I bring some good insight, and I just wanted to kind of, bet on myself a little bit and kind of get this thing started. Maybe it leads somewhere, maybe it doesn't, but right now we're just having a lot of fun with it. And so I'm getting that degree still, but I'm still trying to pursue something that I'm passionate about.
Can you at least do a minors in BizCom?
I probably could. So I'm not real sure though. Right now I'm still
Talk to him, Mac. Talk
working
to
on
him.
the
Can I make a recommendation?
you can
Can I make a recommendation?
for sure.
I'm 42. By the way, I still feel like I'm 22. If I try to run a 40, I'll tear both my hamstrings. So I'm definitely not 22, but I feel like I am sometimes. Do what you love.
Yeah.
Find what you love and figure out a way to monetize it. I'm serious, because you'd be surprised how quickly life winds up, and how you listen. You're gonna find a young lady if you haven't already. You guys are gonna want to start a family. You're gonna want to get married, and then you're gonna have a whole bunch of responsibility, liabilities. Well, it's really liability, by the way. But you're gonna have a lot of accountability that right now, like, you're in control of you.
Mhm.
And by the way, I got my degree in finance. Sounds like same thing you went through. I wanted to do real estate anyway, all these other things. But what I really found in the end is like, I didn't really find my own happiness until I did what I loved. And I love that you guys have this pod, because it seems to me like this is your way to express that. But
Yeah,
I
for sure.
promise you, what school are you at?
It's a small school up in Bartlesville called Oklahoma Westland.
Bardo. I know Wesley.
Shout out Oku
Yeah,
Eagles.
man. I know I never been there,
Yeah.
but I do know the college name. I'm just gonna tell you, like, I wouldn't be surprised if there is actual tangible insight that you can get from at least minimum doing your minor. Take some classes that will teach you some of the basics, the foundation, you know, and don't let somebody else tell you how you know what I'm saying? Your voice don't sound like, what does that even mean, bro? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Get out of here. Like, don't but your voice doesn't sound right. That would make me want to be like, bet I'm gonna show you I can. Like, that's just the kind of person I am. But I think you guys do a great job. I watched a couple of your shows. I thought you guys,
Appreciate it.
you guys had the OKC shirts on. I was like, okay, I got it. We got our butts kicked again, and they didn't want to. They didn't. You know, I respected it. But now, salute to that. Salute to that. All right, I got one more question.
Sure.
You know, I'm a visionary. I'm a guy who I put my mind to something and then I don't stop until I get it done. Like, that's just how I am. So what's the vision for this? Talk to me about the next 6 months, the next 12 months, and then let's say the next 24 months, because you guys do know over 90% of podcasters don't make it to year 2.
Right. Well, I mean, we started out with this, whereas literally on game days, Colin and I and like a couple other friends had a group message, and it is like nonstop, like not just like, oh, can you believe that happened? But like, we're smart enough guys, and both of us have been like collegiate athletes type thing, where it's like, I know the ins and outs, like I know, like, you know what I mean, like what it takes to be successful. I know, and so like I'm like, bro, we have a lot of really good insight. And so our vision was that I was like, number one, like, so Colin's my younger cousin. Like, I grew up being an older brother to the kid. And so one of those things that, like you were saying, man, life happens really quickly. And now that I look back at it, like college is one of those moments where like you have complete freedom to like do something like this and pursue it wholeheartedly. Like I have a wife. We're actually expecting our first baby in December. And so thanks, man. I'm freaking out, but I'm super excited. But dude, I was like, look, there's tons of podcasts with like expert opinions, like former players. There's guys that, know the broadcasting, but like, are there many podcasts like from a casual fan, like the perspective and like the frustrations and the highs and the lows, where I feel like a lot of people can relate with us. And so that was kind of the vision of like, hey, like it's something that we do anyways, like might as well pump something out and put it out there and have fun with it and just see what happens. So right now we're like just in that like, dude, we're busting our ass, like trying to get you on here. We got Eddie Radosevich tomorrow night. We got Parker Thune on Wednesday night, dude. Like we are like stacking these things up. So like we're hustling. And so it's one of those things that's like, we don't know maybe like the whole business side of it, of where you can monetize it and like how to get it out to people that like, besides, our grandma Fran watching it 72 times, or you know what I mean? Like that. So I mean, we're definitely still learning, but I mean, we're having a lot of fun with it. We would both love it to take off, like, and because you can tell, like, we're passionate about this. Like, we're passionate about Sooner football and all things Sooner. We're passionate about OKC Thunder, and I don't really know what 24 months looks like. I just know that we said we're going to do it until it's no longer fun for us, and right now we're having a blast.
Awesome. Do you know how to track your numbers with the podcast? Because we didn't. When we started, I had no clue what to do.
We just been looking at views and subscribers.
Are you guys shooting just on YouTube? What are you guys hosting
So
on?
we're trying to get on like other platforms, but haven't like figured that quite out yet. We've only been doing this for like, this is like our second or third week, and so we just been YouTube so far.
YouTube's
But
not bad.
yeah,
Look at Red Circle or Megaphone as a hosting site. Just FYI, because those are the sites that folks who are gonna potentially like seek you out are going to be looking at those metrics. But YouTube, by the way, I'm not on YouTube, or maybe we are on YouTube now. I think we are on YouTube now, but like we haven't done one video pod yet. Everything's just audio, so we're gonna go video, I think, next month. But yeah, keep trucking, bro. We started no marketing. You know what I'm saying? We just did the same thing you guys did. We decided to get on the mic, and we wanted to talk about our authentic truths, and people read that. And I think I saw your stuff resonates with me. I like it. I like it a lot. You guys have a huge, hell yeah. You guys have a huge following to take advantage of. You guys are gonna get Eddie Rad. He's definitely gonna show some love. Parker Thune's definitely gonna show some love. So definitely making the right things happen, man. Super. I'm grateful to be on here, man. I appreciate you guys for even having the kid out. Old guy like me get a chance to spend some time with
Hey,
you two,
man.
man.
No,
Sooner
Mac, when
Legend. We got to have the Sooner Legends on, man. So whenever
look
you
when you tweeted at us, like so me and Tate were talking about getting you on. He was like, dude, just tweet at him. And so he wrote out the tweet or whatever. I go and tweet it in my room. I go sit in the living room and sit down on the couch, and I get a Twitter notification, like not expecting it at all. And it showed you replied, and I was like, no way. And I go in, I start FaceTiming Tate. I was like, bro, he already responded. He said DM him, he'll get something set up. And I was like, that was crazy, man.
so, but for sure, like that's just what Sooner Nation is, and that's why I felt like there's room to have success. It's just hard because we're not a former national champion, and I know that like we can bring our own thing, but like it kind of helps with advertising to pump that. Like, hey, come listen to a Sooner great, like instead of these two yahoos that just think they know what they're talking about.
Stay consistent because most people are gonna quit. Stay true to yourself because when you have to fake it, eventually it'll get difficult. So be you guys. And like you said, just have fun. Me and Barry and I have a blast. We're you have no idea how we cut them. By the way, as soon as I get off here, I gotta record my 10 thoughts. So I haven't posted my 10 thoughts for the week yet. So I gotta do that after this deal. But I think you guys are doing a great deal. Anytime you guys want to collab on something, let me know. I'm all open. I'm all in on that kind of stuff. I want to see people win. Potentially moving back to Oklahoma,
There
so
you
that'll be
go.
interesting to see what happens if that comes to fruition. But anything else before we head out, guys? I just want to, you guys got anything else? Or are you guys good to go?
I got one more question for you.
Don't be
We got
bringing out
5 minutes
nothing from
left.
1985, bro. Don't be asking what kind of underoos I wore. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
All
man.
right, then maybe I don't need to ask it.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So this one says you've been a part of a lot of big time OU games and victories. In your opinion, and this is a two-parter, which game was the biggest party thrown, and what's the craziest story that you can tell us from that night?
My wife literally just walked away like 2 seconds ago. When I was a Sooner, let's just say we partied. If the walls, by the way, the Bud's gone. The Bud is the dorm we lived in my freshman year. All the freshmen used to live there. They tore it down. I have a brick, so I had to keep a brick because like the secrets in those walls, man, crazy. Funny story. I'll tell you guys a funny party. And this is when I wasn't playing. So I get hurt in 02. I was finishing up my degree, my business degree. I stayed till 03. I came in from 98 and I graduated 03. So 03, we're recruiting two 5-star linebackers out of San Francisco, California, named Pasha Jackson and Lance Mitchell, right? And so Coach, here we go, Coach V again. Coach V is like, Mac, I need you. I need you. I was like, what's up, Coach? What you need? Like, look, I got these two guys coming in from Cali, such and such, such and such. So I was like, yeah, I got you. So, and they from the Bay Area, which is where I'm from, Northern California, not LA. So they come in. I think we're playing UCLA or Fresno State, one of those guys. We're playing a Pac-10 team. We beat the brakes off of them. In fact, I think it's Maurice Jones-Drew's UCLA team. We beat them like 50 to 20, 55, 25, something like that. Perk. No, that's not the game. Perk took 3 to the house. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, we're playing UCLA and beat them. And of course, the party's smacking. And so I was, I'm a 5th-year senior. I know where all the functions are. I don't really party that much anymore. I kind of just had a crew. I had like a starter, and then I had a, what I'm saying, I had a side piece, and then a second baseman. I had 2 or 3. That's it. That's all I had. I didn't want to do the shenanigans because you could get in trouble. But because they were in town, I was like, all right, I'll take them out. So we went to Fiji House. I want to say we went to the Fiji House. They threw a party. I think one of the black fraternities, I think the Omegas threw a party. So I took them around town, kind of let them see, the different offerings. Not going to get into too much of it because it ended up turning into a police matter and a lawyer matter and shenanigans on shenanigans. But what I will say is by the end of the night, I'm dropping Lance and Pasha off at their hotel. It's like 3 a.m. By the way, I'm beat. I don't stay out late. I'm an old man by then, right? Like I don't need to party. I'm in bed by 11. Well, I'm out till 3. So I dropped them off. Like I said, I can't give you the details. Don't ask. Maybe you guys will do the research and uncover it, but I ain't telling you. But I dropped them off, and then it's like an hour later, and my phone is blowing up. Right, like it's got like 17 missed messages. So I look at it, and I'm like, "Who the hell is this?" I pick it up. It's a 405 number. Is this Damian? Yeah, this is Damian. Who's this? I'm a lawyer. I represent the athletic department. I need you to come down to the police station right now. By the way, this is a true story, like 100% true story. This is a true story. I'm like, what? They're like, well, we need you. And then he's asking me some questions and stuff. And needless to say, Lance didn't commit to OU. But of course, he ends up playing for OU. So Lance does not commit to OU because that night was a crazy night. Pasha does anyway, which is crazy. I said, Pa, cannot believe he still committed and became a Sooner himself as well. But of course, Lance has some issue with the SEC. He committed to Florida initially, and they had some drama with the class or some kind of transfer with his transcript. And so he said, okay, I'm going to come to OU, even though my host almost got me put in jail.
That's crazy.
True story.
Nick, that's a legendary story. Look, we're balling on a budget, and this Zoom call is about to cut off. Hey, seriously, dude, thank you so much for agreeing to be on this podcast. I think it's a banger. Dude, would love any shout out on social media or on y'all's podcast to help us going. Dude, so much love to you. Wish you nothing but the best.
Tell me the name of your pod one more time. I'm getting ready to record right now. I'm
Oklahoma Sports Podcast with O'Grady and O'Grady.
Send it to me as a DM because
I got you.
Got it. Hey, appreciate it, D-Mac. Much love.
Thank you, Mac.
Boomer Sooner.